What's up, guys? So on this episode of Everyday I'm Grinding TV, I have a very special guest for y'all. She's been everything from a successful athlete to a police sergeant, and since 2014 has taken on the role of founder and CEO of the Skylar security firm. Y'all, she is the epitome of grace and humility and is a true believer of Christ. So get ready for a good one, you guys.
Security is an emotion, is our philosophy. It's our, reason for being, more so than money and financial gain. Security is an emotion, and everyone deserves to be safe. Two things that, we built the company on those two premises, right? Security is an emotion. Security, right, is a feeling of peace, a settlement. So if you're not feeling safe, you're feeling insecure. And so it is our job to make sure that our clients, the guests that we service, the community that we interact with when we're providing a service, feel safe and they feel secure. So when you use the word in business, security, company, and people automatically think volume, numbers, hours, and how far can we stretch the expenses down so that we can profit more. That's not our premise. Security is an emotion. So money is the thirdary, if that's even a word, not secondary. It's so far removed from our core mission, which is that everyone deserves to be safe. So when a client comes and says, hey, I'm afraid, that's an emotion. So what I found early in the business is people would come to me and say, I need security services. Why do you need security services? The next answer is the reason for us engaging with that client, right? So if you're afraid, then how do I say no to that? Everyone deserves to be safe. Do you say no to someone saying that they're afraid? No, you say yes. And you figure out how to service that person. If they can't afford it or the budget, they don't have a budget for it, we're gonna figure out a way, whether we have to leverage or contact the local police department, conduct some general patrols, or even there's times where Skylar has conducted services and we haven't made any money. It's not about that. It's about that first person feeling safe. And security as an emotion is something that we've been focused on from the very beginning of the business. And I don't care how fast we scale, how many additional clients. We did the Super Bowl this year, something we're very proud of. To be in the middle of the city at a time like that was to be celebrated. We're continuing to grow. We get new clients every other day. We're excited about that, but that is not our premise. Our premise is to help save and keep mankind, humankind, safe and secure in their communities. And with that as our premise, we feel like we'll get to the volume, we'll get to the profitability. But for right now, and continue on, the very thread of our business is this emotion called security. So it's a funny story there. So I say this all the time when we do radio shows that I was a bully's bully. I say it all the time. I give my weight and my height. I'm 6 foot tall. I actually weighed in today at 288 pounds, which is a little bit more than the last time I said it. So we got to work on some things. But I'm not a small girl, right? So advocacy and protecting people is at the heart and the core of who I am and what I feel I've been called to do. So I've been called to protect, right? So when I was a police officer and I was preparing for the FBI, I encountered an opportunity to create a company that was focused on quality first. So I would tell, it was interesting, I started in the business and we would handpick our team and really make a customized guard. What is a customized guard? Well, the client would request a particular person and I would say, okay, I can put that together. And what I found is that there was a really nice, the client was happy, I was happy, we paid higher than the industry standard. So the officers got paid the same day. As soon as their shift was over, they got paid. And this was before Uber. This was like before Uber became what they are today. People always say, well, you sound like a tech company. I said, no, we're as efficient as a tech company, but everything that we do is with our hands, and we're proud of that. Why? Because the user experience is really where we feel that the opportunities are in our industry to change the way people interact with security companies and their security guards. So as a police officer, can you imagine all of the things I had to deal with and hear when I told my colleagues that are cops that I started a security company, the jokes, the laughs, the looks, this black female trying to start a security company in Atlanta, predominantly male business, just like law enforcement is. But I said, you know what, guys, we're different. And I said, I can show you better than I can tell you, right? Just watch us as we grow and you'll see the differential. We focus on quality. And I saw that as an opportunity. I would see the guards that wanted to work for our company, and I just said, I'm sorry, I cannot put you behind our brand, and I just don't want to put a traditional security guard on the side of our clients. I just refuse to do it. What I found is that the growth and the scale is slower, but man, my clients are happy. And when they call you and say, thank you for helping me be safe, what? There's nothing else in life better. Helping your clients stay safe is at the core of our mission. And even as we've grown, we're still 100% referral based. And our clients are 100% referral based. So we only grow when people refer us work. We're not going to market ourselves. So that really customized, non-traditional way of doing business in the security industry has not only set us apart, but now I believe people really see us for who we are. So those jokes and all that cracking up, laughing that we were doing when I was a police officer, now I hope people really see that we're non-traditional and nothing like what the industry is producing right now. And I think that's part of the reason why we're growing so fast. So we're really excited about that. And like I said, security is an emotion. So we tackle it from that perspective. And if you do that, you're going to have a non-traditional security guard. And that's what we've been building. Your questions are so good. So the pivot from being a police officer to 100% all in, team all in, was by far the hardest thing I've probably done in my life. And I've been hit with shot puts, Clemson University and stuff. So been an athlete all my life. I have hair on my chest, not literally, figuratively, of course. I have hair on my chest because of that. It was just so stressful, right? So when you go from, having a job that gives you a check every 2 weeks, I was a police officer, so it wasn't $1 million, but it was taking care of me, and I was financially okay. And then I had the business as well. But I was literally getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't get home until 2 o'clock in the morning, and sleeping on 3.5 hours it started affecting. And then when I realized two things, that the industry was pulling on me a lot, my clients, and then being 100% referral based, when they started pulling on me, I realized that how could I build a company that focused on courage, business acumen at the core. I encourage my security, I'll call it entrepreneurs. I encourage my security guards to be entrepreneurs, step out, have faith to know that whatever that thing that God gave you on the inside, that you can do it. And guess what? It can help you leave a legacy and leave a path for yourself financially. But yet I'm going to work every day for a traditional 40-hour job, very content, very stable, and life was okay. But I realized that I was starting to conflict the things that I was encouraging others to do. And the core of who I am, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, so those fundamentals are important to me, that what you say is what you do. And you can't teach anybody something that you haven't already walked in. So I started to get conflicted. On top of that, I was exhausted a lot because of the hours I was putting in. And then lastly, but definitely not least, my clients, I realized I needed to make the step out in the faith out. So I depleted my entire pension, which was all of $20,000. And I was very proud of that because a portion of that I built on my own using a third IRA. So, trying to make sure that I position myself financially, but depleting it all and saying, okay, there's $20,000. Let's see what we can do with this. I literally to this day still have that check on the back of my door in my house. So when I walk into my office, I literally see, plug the Voya Financial, right? So I see Voya Financial there and the address to my house, and I stick it up there to remind me that it wasn't always like this, and that there's a story behind Skylar. And very proud of the leap. It was not easy. I put my resignation in, and they told me that I have a year to determine if I want to stay or come back or what. And I just looked at them and I said, thank you for that. I'll keep that in mind. But I typically don't turn back. And when I go and I put my mind to something, we will be successful. Because I had the business for 3 years before I left. So it was time to go. I put in my resignation. And I said no to the FBI when I started the business. So I was very clear on being an entrepreneur. Little did I know that at the resignation, I left. I remember the day. I could see myself walking out that door for the last time. I loved being a police officer. I still am. I love the police family, but I knew that in order for me to really tap my potential in life, I needed to go. And I knew that part of my story and legacy was through entrepreneurship. I had no idea what was on the other side of that, but I felt that God prepared me for whatever it was. And I ran the numbers and it didn't make sense. All I had was $20,000, and at the time, my payroll was double that. So you do the math. We're short already. But somehow, through taking care of our officers, taking care of our clients, everything worked out. I'm still here almost a year and 2 months later, and we did the Super Bowl. We've times 8 our gross revenue in a year. So we're doing something right, but we've got to stay focused. But leaving Clayton County, the police department, was a sad day, but one that I knew was going to propel my business. So fear, for the first time in my life, I experienced fear. But I didn't allow that fear to hold me. I just was like, all right, well, you're afraid, but you're going to keep walking. You're going to keep moving. You're not going to stop. You're not even going to turn around and look back. You're going to keep marching, and we're better for it. And I really do thank God for the team that was around me that assured me, the officers showing up to shifts every day on time and taking care of our clients. I wanted to invest in them, my 100% investment, and that's what I did. I mean, how awesome, right? To role model what I want them to do every day, and that means have courage. So they're protecting the clients that we have, right, that they have, but yet I'm at work every day. What is courage? Courage is stepping out on faith and knowing that is where you're supposed to be, and the timing was now. And I don't think I had a choice. I think something else of a higher power, God propels me to do things, and when I knew it was time to go, I went, afraid and all. My relationship with God is everything. It's a very, very long journey between he and I. So I come from a family of faith, pastors, bishops, Church of God in Christ. So a lot of skirts and a lot of doilies. That is the core of who I am. Very fundamental, conservative Christian belief. So as I've grown and evolved in my own faith, God and I are very close, to the extent that I know that my life is not my own, that I am at his call to do what he's called me to do. So I don't usually move outside of where I'm called. So how do I know that it's time to move? My ear, for me, is so in tune with his that I know when my season is over. And so that's when I transition. So Clemson, like all these key pivotal moments in my life. When I went to Clemson University, I never visited the campus. Saw the Clemson Paul, was something connected. I was just like, that's interesting. Something about this I need to look into. Was visiting schools all over the U.S., never visited Clemson. Called my coaches and I said, there's something about this school. I can't even explain it. But I want to accept a scholarship there. And they were looking at me like, you haven't visited the school though. I said, I know, but just trust me. Let's just go with this. So it's trained my ear to hear seasons. So when it was time for me to come to Atlanta, I took a job, knew that I wanted to personally work with children, crimes against children. So Clayton County has one of the highest incident rates for that. So I went there. And it was either stay there or apply to the FBI. So I was like, okay, let's do that. I like this. Let's do the FBI. Prayed about it, went through the whole interview process, felt comfortable that was preparing me for that next season. And something happened at my job, and it started causing me to question how being in the law enforcement community was going to help me reach my potential. So I started questioning that I could stay in a law enforcement paramilitary organization and reach it. And so God and I have conversations all the time. I mean, every day about different things, and particularly major moves. So when I went to Clemson, when I started applying to the FBI, to calling the FBI and saying, I'd like to rescind my application, I want to start my own business, to leaving Clayton County to start my own business, when each of those moves didn't make sense. I never visited Clemson, but I went there, and now I'm a 7-time Hall of Famer. Clemson inducted me in 2000. I mean, I would not be who I am today if it weren't for Clemson. And it's listening to the voice of God and knowing what that sounds like. When people say, is it audible? No, but I'm telling you, if you have a relationship with God, you know when he's speaking. And you know when it's time to either move, be quiet, talk, or stay. Because, I turned 40 last year, and that's a lot of time to be with someone. And so the relationship that I have with God, it keeps me safe. It's at the core of not only our business model, but it's at the core of my faith, my life. I don't make any decision without first consulting the one that's really in charge, and it's God. And needless to say, we're very close, very, very close to my faith and to God. And every decision, whether it's business or anything like that, I always run it through prayer, and I have a peace about it. And as long as I have that peace, things do not have to make sense. But I just believe that things will come together, and they usually do. So his track record is kind of cool with me. So when he said leave the police department, I just looked up at the sky real quick and was like, all right, here we go again. Let's do it again. And again, he doesn't cease to amaze me. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So security is in motion. Everyone deserves to be safe. The third tenet is we treat everyone, the community, the homeless person, the client, the wealthy client, the Buckhead Class A building, and the apartment complex that can barely meet their bill. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So we treat each other in our company and the community how we would want to be treated. And it's also not only my life's quote, if you will, but when I was a police officer, it was my policing strategy. So when I would show up to a call, if you're my sister and I love my sister and I look at you as a family member, or I look at you as if it were me, how would I then manage that situation if it were me? So then I asked the question, so how would police brutality be an issue if we all took that mantra? Do unto others as you would have someone do unto you. So if you're driving up the street and a police officer pulls you over for going through a stop sign and you always blow stop signs, do you even have the right to write that ticket? That's fundamental biblical principles. So and for me, I didn't write tickets for certain things. In my faith, in my heart, I just couldn't fathom. So do I write speeding tickets? I do not write speeding tickets. Why? Because I speed. You know what I'm saying? I get tickets. That was my issue when I became a police officer. I would speed. So I had to work on that and controlling myself, right? But do unto others. And to me, that is, we say we're a hospitality company that offers private security services. What is true hospitality and customer service? It's doing unto others as you would have someone do unto you. So you talk about scriptures and Bible and God, and sometimes that intimidates people. But people interact with Skylar and they're like, there's something so different about your officers. Yeah. Because when you walk past them, they're going to speak. They're going to be pleasant. They're going to, try to make you smile and make your day, right? We're fighting. Look at me. My officers can fight. I can hurt you. But will I hurt you? No. Why? Because I can talk to you and communicate to you to get you to do anything I want you to do. And guess what? As long as you're walking away from the situation, we're good, brother. So you could be cursing and walking away, and I've achieved my objective. Why would I fight you? Just to control you? No. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if I'm having a bad day and I'm a little mistempered, how about you talk to me and figure out why my day is, what's going on with me? And if I didn't do anything, when I was a police officer, I would ask them, did I do anything to disrespect you? No. Okay, so why are you being rude to me? Well, I can't stand the police. Okay, well, I don't identify with my badge. I am a police officer and I represent the law. But there is a person behind this uniform and I'm trying to help you, right? And then he looks at me like, wait, like she's talking to me like a human being. Like I said, bro, you want me to take this uniform off? Will that help you? And then they start laughing because they're like, no, we don't want you to take it off because you sound like you really will. I was like, yeah, you want me to take my badge off, bro? You want me to lose my job just to show you that I want to help you. Sit down and talk to me. And those are the most impactful interactions with the community. But it's at the premise of a biblical principle. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Whether you're a police officer, a business executive, you're offering security services or not. Like that is at the core of who we are. That is at the core of who I am. People ask me, what's Skylar? What does that mean? Skylar is a female bodyguard protector, a guardian, a watchtower, an overseer, okay? If that is who we are, in the essence of offering those services, we do unto others as I would want someone to do unto me if I needed to be protected. And at the premise of the business, man, that scripture sits so close to our hearts. As you can tell, it's very dear to me. My relationship with God is everything, and I wouldn't be here. And so we can call it Skylar, we can call it a hospitality company, we can name it 100 other different things, but at the end of the day, it's looking that person in the eye and treating them with respect, dignity, honor, love, right? Love covers a multitude, right? So if that's a biblical principle, then why, as a police officer, would I not use that to help educate that person and get them to change their behavior? Or I can arrest you, beat you up, and then say, get in the car. You tell me which one you would want. And like I said, I'm in 5 years of working with the police department, I never shot anybody, never shot my weapon. Got into one fight, and it was a mentally disabled individual that probably wasn't in his mind at the time. I don't even count that one, right? So no fighting, no physical violence, because you gotta know how to talk to people. Even I had one guy on the way to the jail tell me, thank you for, we were on the way to the jail, okay, I had to arrest him. And he's like, thank you for how you handled that. See, I don't mind going to jail because I'll actually get a good sleep in jail. So what am I hearing? I'm hearing there's some other issues there. The fact that you're okay with going to prison because that gives you peace, because he gets a break from his home life. So what does community policing really look like? Let's have that conversation. Is it police brutality? Absolutely not. I think we need to re-educate our police departments and the security industry as a whole to address security issues, both law enforcement and private side, from a perspective of look at yourself. When you see them, look at you, and then respond that way. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get it on point. Yeah, that's at the core of who we are. That's our heart, and that's our passion. So there's a tape that we play in our heads, right? And the tape tells us how we feel and how we see ourselves. And 90% of the time, well, I won't say 90, 51% of the time it's wrong, right? So you speak out of your fear and out of your concerns, out of your worries and of your past experience. For me, what I feel is that you have to be as confident as you need to be in that moment to be successful. So there's a journey, right? So people say, have you always been? Yeah, so. But I was trained to aim for the best. And I believe that my coaches put that in me for a reason. And so now that I have my business, we get a call from the Super Bowl and they want to double our shifts. It's like, sure, let's do it. Impossible task, but we killed it, right? Because you push yourself. This year, 2019, I tell my officers all the time, I'm like, guys, we do these things called a Skylar challenge. Skylar challenges, people are like, what is that? We intentionally put ourselves in challenges. And why do we do that? So that we can reach our potential. I need to know your weaknesses so I can make them strengths. Then next year, you're gonna have a whole nother set of weaknesses that I'm gonna make strengths, and then we're gonna keep doing that until you feel confident in every situation. Is that possible to feel confident in every situation? No. But if in your mindset, you just keep pushing yourself to sharpen your edges and not be afraid of discovering your weaknesses. That's the thing. I think a lot of people are afraid to see themselves as incompetent. But then I say, you better tell me. I always say, you better tell me I got a boogie in my nose. Don't have me walking around here with a boogie in my nose, right? And we say that internally all the time. And what that means is if I'm off, You better tell me, because I want to be not perfect, but I want to be my best self every day, every day. So 2019, we have a motto, is we're going to push ourselves to the edge of our potential, right? So what does that mean? That means every day we have to face ourselves, strength or weakness. We're not going to complain. We're not going to complain. We're not going to give excuses. You're going to be successful every single day. And we're strong enough where whatever issue we put ourselves in the middle of, we can handle it. Now that's a blanket statement, right? And there's millions of different types of issues you could find yourself in any given day. But if you do the work every day, whatever issue you find yourself in, you can handle it. And if you believe that, you're unstoppable, right? So that's what I would say is turn the tape off. Look at yourself in the mirror, see yourself as you are, sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. And then before you know it, the purpose of your life will put you where you're supposed to be, and it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. And everything will make sense. From the time that you got up and you public speaking and you were nervous and you were shaking and the paper was moving, right? So it's all these things and you're like, that was the worst ever. But then when that one person comes up to you and says, man, you really inspired me. And all of a sudden it just kind of relaxes you and realizes that I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be my best self. And then purpose, you add your relationship with God, you add the perfect timing, you add people who believe in you, that pour into you, and then you get yourself a good mentor and an advisor that can help coach you through the way. Man, you can do anything. You talk about millions, let's talk billions, right? You talk about communities, let's talk states and nations. Then when you empower yourself and you say, now I'm open and I'm ready to go anywhere that my potential will take me. Now you're talking about a worldwide movement. So if you can't even see it, it's probably not going to happen. So you got to first look at yourself in the mirror and say, whatever comes at me today, I'm going to own it. And you can do that whether you have a business like mine or you're at a corporate job. And so you're like, you know what, Jamine, that's great and all, but you started your business, but that's not me. I just want to be a part of somebody else's vision. I want to help them grow. We need people like that. Great, right? Wonderful. But even in that, you're going to come against things that are going to challenge you. Are you going to own that? You're going to have excuses. You're going to whine. You're going to complain. You're going to be on the other side of the department. As I always say, there's two sides, a positive and a negative. What side are you on? And if you're on the positive side, stay on that side no matter what. And on the negative side, you're on the wrong side. The positive side is the side that's going to be successful, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a CEO, COO, you're a co-worker, warehouse worker, whatever, exercise yourself in excellence and then turn the tape off and then get yourself to the edge of your potential. And before you know it, you'll be light years ahead of your colleagues and light years ahead of the industry. And all because you paid attention to yourself. Ignore everything else. And people are always going to talk, right? I even when I was an athlete, my coach was like, did you hear? No, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I never knew where my enemies were. I smelt them. I knew they were there, but I didn't pay attention to them. It didn't matter. Why? I focus on you. I'm not focusing on myself and my growth plan. So those are the things that I would definitely share to anyone that'll listen. So one of the things I always tell entrepreneurs is to grow at your own individual scale and ability. So don't grow further than what you can handle, and do the work, know your numbers, know your product, know your industry, know where your competition is, all that good stuff. But financially, I would say, dummy yourself down a little bit, minimize all of your liabilities. That way you can focus on taking care of your business and not your business taking care of you. But if you're riding around with the Louis Vuitton and the Mercedes cars and stuff, that's a liability on your business. So I still have my 2005 Chevy Tahoe, and I'll rock that until the wheels fall off, okay? Even if you can afford more, time that and make it perfect timing. But I tell businesses all the time, minimize your expenses, at least while you're starting up. Own your space, know your competition, know your business. But in doing business, be very smart with the timing of your expenses. That way, once you hit those expenses, it makes sense, and you can always be profitable in your business. So whether we made $1 or $1,000, we've always been profitable. And it's because we make sure our liabilities are minimal. And I mean, that may sound basic, but that is, a lot of companies get excited when they start making money, not realizing that you start spending it, it's gone. You can't get it back. So you have to be really smart with how you manage your business and do not grow faster. Atlanta, they love the word scale. Scale, 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 scale. Let's grow. Let's unicorn this bad boy. Let's go nationwide, right? No, how about no? How about we just stay where we are excellent and allow our quality and our growth to scale us out? What's the purpose of scaling if you can't handle the work? You know, payroll is real. So if your payroll in Atlanta is $50,000 a month, you scale nationally, all of a sudden you have $1 million payroll. How are you gonna pay for that? Right? So it's like you really gotta stop and really think about this before you talk about growing your business. You know what's funny? I've never thought about that question. And I really don't have an answer. My legacy, I always feel like I'm resetting myself, so I never think about the ending. Wow. I hope that the look in the eyes of my providers from the interview, or whatever we decide to call that moment, they look at me and they see possibility. And seeing that, it happened this morning, seeing that over and over and over again, I hope that as their CEO, that I did their life justice. And I hope that a little bit of my ambition pushed into them. And I hope that these security guards that at once was looked upon as the least of these can be looked upon as the core thread of our cities, our nations, and the world. If that occurs and they become business owners, then my legacy would have been left the way that I hope that I am inspiring them to be better and greater and more impactful than I could have ever been. That is at the core of the business. When they sit there and I ask them, if you had all the money in the world, and they're looking like, what is she going to ask me? All the money in the world, all the time in the world, no limitations, what would you be doing? The answers that I receive are phenomenal. Some of them say, I would start my own business, I would do this. Okay, well, why are you not doing that? The look on their faces is so empowering to me because I'm sparking those questions. But I tell them that from this point forward, we're not going to settle for less. We're going to push each other. You check me, I'm going to check you, and we're going to get there together. I say it all the time. The look in their eyes that they say, somebody believes in me? Yeah, but not only do I believe in you, but I'm going to help you. The same way somebody, all my coaches, all my mentors, the ones I have now, grabbed me and set me on the path, I'm setting all them on the path. So they think they're coming in for a security guard job or opportunity, and it's so not even that. It's so bigger and larger than just a job or, the above industry rate that they receive. I mean, they get paid every week. I mean, they have some good perks, right? But it's bigger than that. It's about being a part of a larger conversation, a larger story, and helping them push to their purpose. If I can do that, man, life will be good. I'll die a happy woman. And life will be good. I think my soul will be content. And what I did with my time was Jamine at her best. And I hope that the officers see that the same ambition and drive that I have, now they have, because we're pouring it into them every day, but that they can take it and make it whatever they want. The world is at their beck and call because they watched me literally go through it as I built the company. So that's my mission. Hopefully I can leave that legacy. So we're on Facebook under the Skylar firm, Instagram under Skylar Security. But honestly, if you hashtag Team Skylar, hashtag Skylar Friends, you'll find us. They can also go online at www.skylarsecurity.com. Inbox me. I am still currently doing all my social media, so if you want to contact us or reach out to me, inbox us. Even on LinkedIn, you can search my name, Jamine Moton, and you'll see that red jacket pop up. Click it, like us, share our information, and we would love to hear from you guys.